Hello everybody. If you watched my last video, you'll see that we sold another 1080p budget gaming PC, and that'll mark the 5th PC that we've sold since I've started this channel. In this video, we're gonna get straight to building another 1080p budget gaming PC. As the title suggests, most of the parts I'm gonna be using for this build are from AliExpress. AliExpress can be a good website to find cheap computer parts, and you just have to make sure that you buy from verified sellers with good reviews. So far, I've never been scammed on AliExpress, and I think it's a really good platform to buy PC parts. To start off this build, we have a motherboard, RAM, and CPU combo that I got from this company called KLLISRE, but this combo cost me altogether $134. It includes a B450M motherboard, two 8GB sticks of DDR4 memory, as well as an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 CPU. For the graphics card, we got this Soyo RX 6600M. To my understanding, the RX 6600M is a laptop GPU, and it looks like Soyo adapted this GPU to work with desktop computers. From the research I've done, the RX 6600M has close to the same performance as a regular RX 6600. After using some discount codes, I got this GPU for around $150. To cool the CPU for this build, since it didn't come with a stock cooler, we'll be using the ID Cooling SE 214 XT. For the SSD, I got a Patriot P300 1TB SSD Gen 3. This SSD was for free since they took so long to ship it. To power this build, I went with the Thermaltake Smart Series 600 watt power supply. For the case, I got a case off of AliExpress for around $35. And since it didn't come with any included fans, I bought a 3-pack of Thermalright fans from Amazon. I also included a USB Wi-Fi adapter, which I include with all of my builds where the motherboard doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi. And lastly, I got some cable extensions, an ARGB controller, and a fan splitter from AliExpress as well. Now let's go to some B-roll of me building this PC, and then afterwards we'll go into the benchmarks. So as you can see, we built the PC, and I think it looks pretty good in my opinion. After building this computer, I stress tested it using Cinebench and Furmark at the same time. After stress testing this computer for a couple of hours, I didn't have any crashes or issues, so then I started to download some games. Now let's get into those gaming benchmarks and see how this computer did. In Call of Duty Warzone, we used the balance preset, and here are the settings that I used that came with that preset. And dropping in, we were getting about 100 FPS and an average of 93 FPS. I feel like my 1% lows weren't reading correctly in MSI Afterburner. Visually, the game looked good, and overall, it performed really well. In Apex Legends, using the settings that were recommended for this computer, which were relatively high, we were getting about 160 to 150 FPS and an average of 109 FPS. Again, visually, this game looked really good on this computer, and I feel like it performed really well. There was no stutters or anything like that. And overall, I'm really happy with the performance of this computer in this game. In Counter-Strike 2, using the medium preset, we were getting about 100 FPS, an average of 112. I felt like with this title, there was a slight bottleneck with the CPU and GPU combo. It seemed like the CPU was being utilized more than the GPU at times, and I don't know if that's just because of using the lower graphic preset. So we changed the settings to the high preset, and we didn't see much of a change. We were getting a little bit lower FPS, but the average stayed about the same. Still, this game performed really well with this PC. And overall, with esports titles or even some more graphically demanding titles, this computer handles well. I was very surprised with how good the RX 6600M from AliExpress performed. I can actually recommend this graphics card for budget PC builders. So there you have it. We have another 1080p budget gaming PC that we built, and we listed it on Java, OfferUp, and Facebook Marketplace. Hopefully it sells soon. Now, there are some cons when it comes to this AliExpress type build. And the number one being is there's no upgrade path with this PC. Using that B450 motherboard from that lesser known company or unknown company to some people, there's really no way to update the BIOS. And that can be a big problem if you want to upgrade to a better CPU. And also, I'm not really sure which RAM is compatible with this motherboard. So if you're not using this same company's RAM kit, there's really no way to upgrade the RAM to 32 gigabytes. So this build is very limited for what it is. It's basically stuck at the performance that it's at, and you can't go any higher than that. So this is the reason why I wouldn't actually recommend building this PC for your own personal use, unless you have a really tight budget. But other than that, it's a good PC flip. Honestly, I don't believe I would create this build again and sell it. I think from now on, I'm gonna stick with name brand motherboards and RAM kits. And I'm gonna go for B550 motherboards. That way there's some upgrade path on the AM4 platform for people that I sell these PCs to. And also I'm gonna use B550 motherboards from now on because they have the PCIe 4.0 slot. And that way newer graphics cards can be used to their full potential using PCIe 4.0. But that concludes another episode of the Flipping Gaming PCs Side Hustle. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is Fish, and try not to get blown up.